Hey crafters, this is Nye. So today what we are going to do is we're going to assemble our ice cream popsicle treat box. I'm going to be using my art glitter glue for all of my gluing. I also have my bone folder here that I will use to kind of help me to make sure that I get some of my score lines defined and sharp. And I also have a glue stick here that I'm going to use to roll this piece of the paper, okay? Now, you can see that I've got all of my pieces here. They are cut out. I kind of have them lined up, especially the popsicle part with the toppings that are on it. And I kind of have them just in an order and so I can see everything, okay? So first thing is first, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the box part. And so you can see that I've got the side with all of my score lines facing up. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to begin to fold right on those score lines. I'm going to use my bone folder just to make sure that I get those score lines crisp as they are folded. And I'm just going around and I'm going to do all four sides here. And once I have that done, I'm going to go and just use my hands and fold the smaller tabs here that are on the side. And you can use your bone folder here if you want as well, or you could just use your fingers like I am. It's okay. And so you can see this is the shape that we're going to go for. I'm going to use my glue and I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here along the tab. And of course, because I'm making a video, my glue is going to decide to be clogged because I'm making a video and that's just the story of what always happens for me. So I'm going to just use my pin here that I use to kind of keep it from clogging. And there we go. Okay, that should have done it. There we go. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit of glue there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it right on the side that it is next to. I'm going to do the same thing here with the other side. A little bit of glue and then just pressing it there. You do want to make sure that you're making to keep that 90-degree angle as you are folding. So I'm going to do both of these sides at the same time. And then I'm going to hold it here and then hold it there and then just hold them both and give them a chance to dry. All right, so once you have this part, what you want to do is look for the side that has the little slot, okay? That's the side that our handle is going to fit through. Now, you're going to see that you've got 4 of the handles. The reason why we have 4 is for the thickness. And they all have the score line right there on it. And so what we're going to do is we want the score lines to go back to back. So 2 score lines will face one way and 2 score lines will face the other way. And so just kind of line them up. And before you even get started, take all 4 of them and just fish them through the slot. And you can see how and where it's going to stop, okay? So you can see that there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 that are facing one way and we're going to glue these down together. But we're only going to glue beneath the score line. So right here is my score line. I haven't glued anything above that. And all we're going to do is just layer this right on top. And then we're going to fold. You do want to make sure that it is completely one right on top of the other because it's going to be really important when we push this through into the box. So make sure that that is okay. And all we're going to do is we're going to fold it one way, just like so. All right. Then after you have folded it, you can go and add a little bit of glue right in here just to make sure that they stay together. And then we're going to do the same thing now to the other 2. So again, I got stuck on my table there. What we're going to do is we're going to take one, we're going to add glue everywhere beneath the score line. Okay, then we're going to hold it and make sure that we put the second one right on top so that it's lining up perfectly. And then again, we're going to fold right on that score line. We can just use our hands for this part. It's okay. You don't need the bone folder there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the glue right there, and then glue that part together. Okay, now what we want to do is we're going to take both of these and we're going to put them together, but we're going to put them together in such a way that the tabs are facing away from each other. So you can see one tab is going this way and one tab is going that way. All right. So we're going to add glue one more time right here. And once you have it, again, very important, make sure you're getting it completely lined up and placing it right on top there. Okay, now we're not going to glue this part, but what we will do is just push it back together so it's forward. And then we're going to fish it right through the slot. And then push it as far as you can get it. And then we're going to fold it right along that score line there. And so you can see, before I even glue it, that's what we're aiming for. Hopefully you can kind of see that part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it back now. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to this tab. And then I'm going to push this part up, hold it, and give it a chance to dry. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. So I won't be able to really show you guys this part because of the camera angle and the fact that the paper won't bend that way. All right. And then I'm just pushing this part down there. Okay. So you can kind of see. And so it kind of gives this little handle so you can hold it and it's glued. And so it's firm there too. All right. So let's start the popsicle part. I'm going to put that part right there and let's start this part. Okay. So before we start with the toppings, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these off to the side for just a second. And we're going to work on actually forming the popsicle part itself. So we've got these two yellow pieces. Again, all the papers are getting stuck on my table here. We've got these two yellow pieces that are completely identical. And we have this piece, which is going to connect both of those pieces together. And this piece has the tabs. So this is where we're going to take our glue stick and we're just going to run it right along this part of the paper. And the reason why we're doing that is we're going to break up some of the fibers in the paper so it makes the paper a little bit more pliable and easy to work with. All right. You can use your thumb if you want, but I'm using this glue stick because I really, and I just ripped it. Okay, I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to have to recut it. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I recut it really fast. It only took me probably about 2 minutes, but it's still just hilarious that that even happened. All right, so again, let's try this round two. What we're going to do is we're going to use the glue stick, and then we're just going to run it along the paper here to break up those fibers. I'm just going to try and make sure I'm being a little bit more gentle because I only cut it once. I don't want to have to do it again. All right. Okay. I'm going to let it go with that. Okay. So once you have it, then all you want to do is go through and fold the tabs down right along the score line that's there. Now, this is going to be one where if you really want, you can use your bone folder here, but just folding it like this will be enough. These tabs are going to get glued to the sides of the popsicle there, the front and the back. And so you don't really have to worry too much there. All right. Okay. So once you have them all, again, you just kind of want to curve it because it's really important that we've got this curve going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to the first 3 tabs here. So 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to line it up right here at the bottom, and I'm going to add my tabs to the side. Okay. Now, when we're doing this part, you want to make sure that you're going right along the edge, and the curve is going to be the hardest part because when we're adding the tabs here along the curve, we want to make sure that it's really either coming in or down, I should say, onto the inside more of this top part here. So that way none of it pops up, because we're going to add this one, this pink one here, or whatever color you decided to make this rectangle one. It's going to reflect and be our icing that kind of goes right over the popsicle. And we want to make sure that it's not popping up at all. Otherwise, it will look funny. So let's just keep going, and hopefully I can explain it maybe a little bit better as we go along. All right, so I'm adding the glue now to the inside right here of this curve. And I'm really going to slow down for this part so that way you guys can see. And what we're going to do is you really want to bend the paper, okay? And so I'm using the top part here of my thumb to really kind of make sure that my paper is going right there on the inside and that no part of it is really popping up, okay? So hopefully you can see I'm kind of really right there along this part of the curve, and I'm gonna just push it down as far as I can to make sure that I'm getting this part there. I'm gonna pull this back just a little bit and then just push this one in a little bit more. It's just gonna be really important for how the popsicle actually looks here and in maintaining just that look of it, okay? And so I'm gonna go through and add glue right here on this side. And then once you get to the side, you can just, you'll be able to finish it off and you'll be good to go. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. So once you have it there, it'll be good. Okay. And so we're going to do the same thing now on the other side. And so again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with these 3 tabs. So adding the glue there, that's 1, 2, and 3. It'll be harder when you go to do the opposite side because the back side here, because you're kind of having to hold it and you won't have as much freedom in holding it as you did with the first side that you did. And I'm just gonna kind of check my alignment, okay? And all I'm doing is I'm lining it up first right there. And then I'm gonna go through and add the glue again to the top. And so one more time, when you're doing this curve, it's gonna be really hard and tricky, especially for this part here. And so I'm kind of going, I think, a little bit too far on the inside. So I'm gonna use my hands to push it up here more on this part here on the inside. And I'm gonna give it a second to dry here. Okay, and then once I have it there, all I'm gonna do is add a little bit more glue right here on that long part. And then I'm going to place it down right there. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a hump here on both of these, but hopefully it won't be as bad. I might just try and use my fingernail to just kind of bend my paper through there so that way it doesn't show as much. Okay. All right, that should be good. Okay, so there you go. And so once you have it all done, you'll see it. Then you can be, well, you should be able to then take your base here or the box part and then just push it right in through and you can see like there's your popsicle. All right, so now let's add the toppings part. All right, so for one side, it doesn't matter. All we're gonna do is just add a little bit of glue to the back here of these. And then we're just gonna layer them one right on top of the other. And again, just holding it between my fingers to make sure that I'm getting everything lined up. I'm working from the bottom to the top because then I know exactly where I need to glue and I'm not adding glue to where there might be an opening for the layer that's on top there. And you just kind of want to take your time and make sure that it's all lining up here. If you go too fast, you might end up showing the color underneath, which again is not the end of the world, but it might not have the fun appearance that you're going for. Okay, so now we've got this one here, the pink, or the lighter pink, I should say, and then the darker pink layer. All right. Okay, so we're almost done. I'm trying to go quickly because with a little hiccup there, I don't want to make the video go too long. All right. And so before your glue has a chance to dry, you should be able to move it around a little bit. Okay. So once you have all of one layer done, you want to add glue to the very back. And when you have the glue there, place your hand on the inside so that you can hold it, and then use your fingers to kind of get it lined up right here on the top. All right. And so again, remember, what we're going for is to make sure that our edges are completely lined up at the edge. So that way we're not going to really see as much of this yellow part or the base of the popsicle shining through. All right. So we've got the one side, and now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it to the other side, because we can't just have a one-sided popsicle. That would look funny. Okay, so we're going to flip it to the opposite side. Now, when you have the opposite side, you want to make sure that you've got orientation. So you can see this longer part here and a shorter part. When I flip it to this side, I want to make sure my longer part is here and my shorter part is here, so that way it lines up. Because if my longer part is over here like this, well, then it doesn't kind of look the same. Like it looks almost like it's going uneven, it's melting uneven, which technically they do, but for aesthetic purposes, we want to make sure that it lines up. So what I'm going to do is I'm flipping mine to the back, and you can see I already made sure I put mine in that kind of orientation when we got started. And all I'm going to do now is just add the glue to the opposite side here of my popsicle. So again, same steps as before. We're just adding the glue down, and then I'm holding it between my fingers to line it up. And I'm going to do this same process for each layer. And so I'm going to speed this up really quick, so that way it only takes 5 seconds instead of maybe a minute. Okay, so once you've got that second layer all lined up, then we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to add a little bit of glue to that very back layer, and then we're going to place our hands inside our popsicle topping here, and then we're going to line it up. So I'm going to hold this one right here between my fingers like this, and then we're just going to line it up just like that. And now we're ready to do the top part. So what I'm going to do is I'm again going to use my glue stick here. I'm just going to roll this part of the paper. Now I'm not worried about ripping it this time because there's no edges here, no tabs. That's going to hinder it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it kind of right there towards the bottom, and I'm going to wrap it over to the other side so I can kind of see. Okay, and so all this is going to do is just kind of seal it up and kind of make it look a little bit more uniform with the popsicle and the covering. Okay, so what I'm going to do again is I'm going to add a little bit of glue here about halfway, and then I'll work my way to the other side. So I'm going to put my hands here, place it right towards that edge there, and I'm just going to wrap it there. Then I'm going to press this back a little bit, add a little bit more glue now to the opposite side here. And then I'm going to press it down right there on that box. Okay. And there we go. So then we can see our fun popsicle. And so it kind of lines up as you flip it. And then we're ready to place the box inside. Okay, so you just want to take it, place it, and push it in. And so here's the thing, you can see that when you press it in right towards the edge, it gives you this little gap. So I made mine a little bit longer. So all you have to do is take the box and just push it in a little bit more. So there's a little bit more room, and it kind of seals it off so that way you can't see that opening as much, all right? So there's probably, I don't even know, maybe 2 centimeters that, you know, kind of hangs over here. And so you can just push it in right there. And so it kind of seals it up more for you, okay? So I hope you guys like this one. You can fill this box in here with, like, you know, whatever treats you want. You can hold it by the handle, but it's heavy. This top part is really heavy compared to the handle. So once you really begin to fill it, I don't recommend holding it by the handle because it might break or something or rip. And so anyway, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this craft. Thanks for my little hiccup there with ripping the paper. And be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you have fun crafting. Thanks for watching.